Going on, everybody? It's your boy Sean Daniel here, going live on Guitar Control's channel to explore the 12-bar blues. And in the spirit of great explorers throughout time and history, we're going to be focusing on the concept of the 12-bar blues within a limited scope. I mean, when you think of like Magellan and Lewis and Clark, some of the great explorers of all time, they had a set path. They had uncharted territory to go into. Now we have the advantage with the 12-bar blues to explore the confines of a structure and kind of like use our creativity within that structure. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about what the 12-bar blues is, how you can kind of like go outside of regular patterns and just kind of just rock it as a solo acoustic or electric guitarist. You don't even need the help of another band, because if we've learned one thing throughout history is that the blues is like a very lonely feeling. So why not use it to our advantage, channel that loneliness into our guitar playing. So what is a 12-bar blues? Basically, a bar is a length of time in music. Okay, with me so far? Usually it's 4 beats. So like 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be 1 bar of music. And at its most basic, we can do it in A. We'll do this in A, right? So we have an A note, the 5th fret on the low E string. We're just gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so that's 1 bar. Now we gotta fill 12 of these up somehow, and we're only gonna use 3 notes, which are gonna become 3 chords, which will eventually become 3 licks or phrases, which we can move all over the place. So we're gonna do 4 bars of that first note. 1, 2, 3, 4. First bar. 1, 2, 3. Second bar. 1, 2, 3. Third bar. 1, 2, 3. Fourth bar. All right. So we can think of it as 16 beats, 4 bars. Now we're gonna move down a string. This is a D. We're gonna play 2 bars here. 1, 2, 3. First bar. 1, 2, 3. Second bar. All right. So far we have 6 of 12. We're halfway through. We can go back to the 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. That's 8 bars. Okay. So we've got 8 of 12. And we only use 2 notes. So the 9th bar is going to be down a string from where we started, down 2 frets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to that 2nd fret that we used, which is the 5th fret on the A string. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's for the 10th bar. The 11th, 12th bar is going to be right where we started. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So we've got 12 full bars here, okay? Now, how are we gonna kind of make this sound a little bit different? The example that I like to use is to create something within these chords, like this. We're gonna turn it into this. And again, I'm still thinking of 4 beats in each of these. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and the 4th bar. So all I'm doing is I'm taking the 5th fret on the E string, jumping to its octave, the 7th fret on the D string, back to the 5th fret on the D string, to the 7th fret on the A string. I'm making a little box type shape out of this, right? Okay. Now I'm just gonna move this shape around as a pattern. Okay, so I'm gonna go down, but now I'm starting on the 5th fret of the A string. Okay, now I'm gonna move that same shape around. I can move it to the other one, the 7th fret on the A string, back to the 5th fret on the A string, back to the 5th fret on the E string. But at its core, I've still done the same thing, where I'm starting with 1 note, going down a string, down 2 frets. Now the way we're going to talk about this is in intervals of the major scale. So again, we're doing this in A. A is the first note of the A major scale. B is the second note. C sharp is the third note. D is the fifth note. D is the fourth note. E is the fifth note. F sharp is the sixth note. G sharp, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got a 1, a 4, and a 5. Those are going to be the only notes we're going to use as root notes for. Okay, so 1, 4, and 5. Got it? Now basically we have the ability to turn all of these notes into chords. Now if you ever see like Roman numerals in music, usually that means the chord that it's on. So the 1 chord in the key of A is going to be A major. The 4 chord in the key of A is going to be D major. And the 5 chord is going to be E major. So if we were just kind of like play chords, 4 bars of this, there's the 3rd bar, and 4, and 2, and 3, and 4 down to the D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, back to the A, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the E, to the D, back to the A. And it's really helpful to know the notes and the chords that you're doing, because then you can actually open it up and play open chords. So you probably already know what A major, D major, E major shapes. A, G, E, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, A, the 3rd bar, and then the 4th bar. Go down to the D chord. So you don't have to hear the whole thing, you kind of get the idea, right? Now just as those single notes can become chords, those chords can become riffs. And that's where this kind of came in. Now, if you are a studious player, you'll notice that this note right here, this when I start on the A to the octave to the 5th fret, this note actually wasn't in the A major scale. This is called a flat 7, all right? Now, the reason behind that is like the bluesiest thing that you'll ever hear, because the sound of the blues is actually the minor scale played over major chords, specifically dominant 7 chords. So if we took a major chord and we added that flat 7 to it, we would end up getting an A dominant 7 chord. So a bluesy thing to do would be to replace all those chords, like an open A major, with an A7 chord. Okay, so now if you had a bar of A7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Then you go to a D7, and then back to an A7. Then E7 to D7 to A. Okay, so basically that's just one way to look at the blues, is major chords turned into dominant 7 chords. Usually in a key, there's only one dominant 7 chord, and that is on the 5. But the sound of the blues is just super dominant 7 all over the place. Now, the interesting thing about that is the minor scale has that flat 7 in it, right? So again, we were talking about the blues in A, we're thinking A major. But let's do it in A minor. If I play the A minor scale, there's that note that we were just making that riff out of, okay? And the reason this is important is because I want to start playing minor scale licks over these dominant 7 chords. And maybe even, we can actually start not even thinking of the minor scale. This right here, this is a minor scale. 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 9, 5, 7, 5, 6, 8, 5, 7, 8. Okay, we can shorten that up to make it the pentatonic minor, which is 5, 8, 5, 8, 5, or 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5, 8. And now we can kind of get bluesy licks because the sound of the pentatonic scale is very bluesy in nature. So if we kind of have some of those licks that we're doing, we can add those to the chord. just by, jumping back and forth between the chord and the scale. So again, just one other thing that we can start doing. Now we can do that over any single one of these chords. There's a lot of ways you can do this. We can start by maybe trying to get fancy, do some things to make it seem like you're going all over the place, but really you're staying firmly within these constructs. So if we started with like an A7 chord, and then went right into that shape, we can start jumping around a little bit more, right? So maybe we start with the A7 chord up here, which is open A, 2D, open G, 2B. And then I'm just gonna jump right into that A minor pentatonic. So I'm sliding to the A, which is the 7th fret on the D string, go to the 5th fret on the G string, 7th fret on the G string, 5th fret on the B string. Pentatonic scale in order. But I'm joining it with this open A7 chord. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 2 bars. 3, 4, 2nd bar. Then I can maybe go to the 4 chord, which again in the key of A is a D. All I did there was I took the same thing, a D7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and then I kind of did that little pentatonic thing where I'm just barring the 5th fret, adding my pinky to the 8th fret on the high E string, and then back to the 5th fret, right? And then we go back to the A7 chord. Again, this is just another lick from the pentatonic scale. Super easy. 5th fret on the A string to 7 to 5D, 7, 5A, pinky, pointer. Alright, so A7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again. D, to A, E, to D, A. And again, that was just taking open chords, 3 open chords, combining it with one pentatonic shape, making it super easy, which you probably already know you should know a bunch of A minor pentatonic licks. Come on. Like, if you're a self-respecting guitar player, you gotta know that kind of stuff. So maybe we can talk about getting outside of just that one shape, right? So if we kind of take, I feel like that's pretty signature blues lick right there. I'm starting with my ring finger on the 7th fret of the G string, sliding from 7 to 9, lining my middle finger up with the 8th fret of the B string, back to 9, back to 7 with the slide, to 5, and then ending where we started, well, in the A, because it's from the A pentatonic scale, right? So, got it? So that's just one lick that we can kind of do. And we can add that to the beginning of that A minor pentatonic thing we did. Okay, so that was, if you count the beats for that, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Okay, so again, the sound of triplets is something else that I think is really bluesy, 12-bar, exploratorily bluesy, which we can kind of like incorporate. So we'll take the last 2 beats of that last bar we're working on, and we're gonna do that lick, right? And we're gonna count that 3 triplet, 4 triplet. All right, so again, triplets are the sound of taking a beat and slicing it into thirds. So it's still swung a little bit. So some people be like, those technically aren't symmetrical triplets, but whatever. This is the blues. We're not here to make friends. That's for sure. So we've got that first 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Okay, all I did there, instead of going, I'm just kind of making a minor adjustment. Like that, right? So I'm adding my pinky to the 10th fret of the B string. My pointer finger is going back to where it was, and then ending again, kind of where I started. And we can do that over any of these chords. So something that I would really recommend is to start kind of incorporating scales into what you do after these chords, right? So we got the first A chord. Then we got the D. Back to the A. Which again, from the lick from earlier. Then we're gonna go to the which brings us to the turnaround section of this guitar lesson. So when I say turn it around, it's basically, if you know what a blues turnaround, it's taking those last 2 bars of the 12-bar blues and then replacing the actual chord nature with something that's just a little more interesting that kind of sets the whole thing back. Because again, if you go by like the regular structure, like 4 bars of 1, 2 bars of 4, 2 bars of 1, 1 bar of 5, 1 bar of 4, 2 bars of 1, and we start again, you see it starts off with 4 bars of 1 and it ends with 2 bars of 1. So it's like 6 bars of 1. Like, ain't nobody got time for all those bars of 1. So the last 2 bars we're going to replace with some kind of interesting lick or something, right? So the one that we're going to choose to use is going to be 5, E4, A5, A6, A7, and then the Jimi Hendrix chord right here. 7A, 6D, 7G, pinky on 8B. Alright? So basically we can kind of do that as a chromatic walk up to that 5th note in the scale, right? Chromatic just means 1 note at a time. So 1, 5A, E. Then from 4A, we're just going 1 fret at a time. But we're choosing to put the chord on this dominant 7-ish Jimmy chord E thing that we got going on here, right? A lot of different ways you can play that. But basically what that does is it turns us around to get back to the beginning. After... it's like a fitting end of the resolution. So that's another thing about these dominant 7 chords. When the dominant 7 chord is put on the 5, it will give you a certain type of resolution that I think you will really dig and enjoy in all your playing. So anyways, just a couple ideas for you in kind of incorporating different things into the 12-bar blues, right? So basically, let's kind of just go over different ways that you can do the blues in general, right? So like I said, there's 4 bars of 1, 2 bars of 4, 2 bars of 1, all right? What might be a better way to do that is instead of sticking on 1 for 4 bars, you jump to the 4 right away. So what I mean by that is maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, go to the 4, and then back to the 1 for the 3rd bar and the 4th bar. And then same thing, go to the 4 for 2 bars. Then back to 1 for 2 bars. Then the 5, the 4, turn around. So anyways, just a couple thoughts on how you can kind of like mess around with 12 bar blues and get kind of like a cool sound. So yeah, if you have any questions, definitely leave it in the comments, and maybe any possible suggestions for future videos. Hit us up and we'll get to you as soon as we can. Thanks a lot.